This is Aftercharge on Xbox Series X, taking a look at this very interesting 3v3 multiplayer experience. So for context, this game is just about to be delisted at the time of doing this video. I thought it might be fun just to kind of do a little bit of a remembrance and or showcase of this game, because I'm assuming a lot of people haven't seen this, which is a shame because, I covered it around its launch to do a review. And it's actually a really charming and well put together title that I think just kind of never really found its footing. It is really delightful, competitive, and straight to the point. So what we're getting here, strangely enough, I guess we've got HDR support, which is kind of funny. And it was actually kind of like a cross-play title, an earlier cross-play title, I guess you could say, in regards to the the Xbox One era when they were starting to do that, and it's got HDR support as well, which is kind of interesting. So I think it's like 1080p or something like that. It looks a little jagged around some edges, 60 FPS, but yeah, it's kind of just a really cool, sort of well done game. And like I said, I just wanted to kind of put this up here to kind of talk about the game, give you an idea of what it was like and everything like that. Now, it hasn't officially shuttered yet. It's closing, I believe, on the 30th of June 2021 will be the date where it's fully closed. And you can actually go to the developer, and they've been giving out codes and keys for people to grab the game, because you can't buy it anymore, in order to go and get your achievements if you'd like to for the title. At this point of doing the video, I've got one achievement left, which I'm not sure I'm going to get because it's a little bit time grindy. But yeah, let's talk about what the game is, and I hope you've been kind of enticed by just the look of it, because it's actually a really cool and well done experience. So 3v3, one team are the robots, and you basically are these invisible robots that go around trying to break these energy generator things. There's a whole lore I was explained at some point, can't fully recall that stuff. But, the developer is actually really nice, very friendly with the community, and again, the Achievement Hunter community as well, kind of supporting that, and I think that's really quite cool. So yeah, the robots, they're going around trying to break these generators, and then you have the humans, which obviously can see and have a range of different tools that allow them to defend these generators. If they all get broken, obviously the robots win, and the humans die. Kind of funny. But there's a range of different characters, and they all do something different in terms of their abilities. So some of the humans, for example, one can kind of do like a mortar strike, or another can kind of create a block around these capsules to protect them a little bit for an extra hit. The robot, like there, could have, say, a shield that would block and protect them momentarily while they're getting shot at. And yeah, it's just kind of like when you die, you die. When all three of you are gone, it's over, but you keep reviving your fallen comrades. Whereas the humans are basically, I guess, invincible, you would say, and you're just trying to destroy everything as fast as possible. There's also a range of different levels. Not a whole ton of them, but it is really well balanced on the ones that you do play on, and the levels do actually look really cool. They've got this lovely sort of art style to them that I quite loved. And we're going to be showing multiple sides and just a couple different maps, so you can see them all in action. And I think that was maybe some of my criticism back when this release was just I would have liked more content to it map-wise. But the core gameplay loop itself was actually a lot of fun. It was very challenging. I remember doing some sessions with other PR folks and stuff and being like, oh wow, this is pretty gripping, or you get a big clutch where the big revival of everyone is the last robot, or it's just really quite interesting, and like I said, such a shame that this one is not something that people are going to be able to enjoy in the future. It's just really such a shame that maybe it could have gotten a bit of a second wind in the later days of, or more recent days of Game Pass, or maybe pivot as a free-to-play would have been cool. But yeah, it's just kind of a bit of a lost relic, I suppose you'd say, which is why doing a video on it's kind of fun, just to sort of preserve the idea so people can get an idea of what this game was, which is kind of cool from, I don't know, my perspective anyways. It's, like I said, a really neat and sort of almost ambitious title, because it's, very stripped down in terms of what you're doing, but yet very competitive because it's so balanced. I felt it was very back and forth for the most part. Of course, you got a good communicating team. You can just absolutely, dominate and do some intense action, but it's kind of wild how you're able to actually get out here and mostly find some balanced competition while you're going out and trying to destroy or defend these capsules, which is quite exciting. And yeah, I don't know. I think maybe just the wrong time for it or something. I think, if it could come back someday at some point, I believe it has the potential to be bigger than it was, but again, just didn't really quite find its footing, I guess. But seriously, this was a really enjoyable time. I've got fond memories of like working through this and playing it, and kind of getting the different unlocks and stuff, because you can unlock different skins and that for the different characters. I think I did one just for fun, like a Harley Quinn-esque sort of robot upgrade, which I thought was kind of fun. So it was just sort of strange, just this whole game itself, because I was like, oh, it's a 3v3 game where one are robots and they're invisible, you can't see them. Kind of reminds me of like this game called, I think it was The Hidden, which was sort of surprising. Yeah, if you guys remember that one from back in the day, it's kind of a, not, that one's more horror-esque, but it's kind of a fun play on that, where you've actually got a lot of different moves and options and ways to play. So you can see there, like when I down the robots as the human, I can take the robot and I can kind of push it places. So sometimes you would like ram the robots between shields so that they couldn't revive their fallen comrades. And other times, strategy would be like I would just sit here and I'd just keep mortaring the robot bodies and trying to do it that way. Whereas the robots, it's like, how do we kind of break up the humans, go to different spots? The humans, they got all these different traps to use and different intuitive ways to sort of defend their positions, which is kind of neat. And it just feels really balanced, because you're like literally just, as a human, you're like, where are these guys? What are we shooting at? I'm just shooting at nothing. And the robots, you have to be smart, because, if you get too close to the humans, they might be able to detect you, and they might have a trap or something for you. And I also really love the visual aesthetics of the game, like the art style. Very, very cool. It's got cool design, and then there's a variety of different map locations that I thought looked really distinct and very different. So this is like a bit of a night type map on this glowy planet. There's another one where it's like glacial and snowy and kind of like a cool frost mood, and then there's like a refinery level, and some examples. There's just, again, not a ton of levels, but you got a good amount for just what type of competitive game this is. And at a different time, maybe like it would have thrived as a competitive multiplayer game like this, because it's very different. I really can't think of too many games that are similar to this concept, just in terms of gameplay. And that's always something I look forward to, is going and playing different types of multiplayer games, because there's so many different options. We've got like asymmetrical multiplayer these days, we've got just regular competitive events, battles, but there's always something cool in seeing something unique and different, and it's fun to be surprised when you go out and you play a game and you'd be like, oh, this is cool, like here's the snow map, and it's just got this really neat sort of feeling to it. Like, it looks very high quality, and yet it's almost minimalistic too. And then you've got like these friendly looking robots, and like I said, you can kind of give them like costume little designs that you unlock and work towards. It just felt like you were playing something where you actually like got a sense of like accomplishment and working through it. It was just enjoyable and fun and distinct and different, and it's a bit of a shame that it never really got its foothold. And I mean, it's a competitive industry, and it always will be, basically, when it comes to multiplayer games. Some make it, some don't, and that's just kind of how it goes. But it was fun to kind of play Aftercharge, and hopefully some people remember it long term, because it's such a distinctly unique experience and aesthetically quite pleasing when it comes to the world and the style of it. I guess if I was doing more of a standard type review, as opposed to kind of looking back review, kind of being like, oh, what could have happened, I would say, again, more content would have been nice. Like maps and stuff, I think would have made a big difference. And then I guess maybe some further dynamics or change-ups in, specifically the players, maybe some additional like loadout type things, because I get the focus that you're supposed to very distinctly, sort of change kind of your setup of who's you're playing, what characters you have. But it would have been neat if each character maybe had like 1 or 2 weapons, and then you could kind of be like, well, if I use this, I go this way. If I use this, I go that way. But again, it was supposed to be straight to the point, and that either makes it for your multiplayer game or it just doesn't. Anyways, that was Aftercharge. Perhaps now, sadly, an afterthought.